Very good morning to all of you, my dear friends. This is Shafiq Ahmed, and you're all welcome to your favorite YouTube channel, Let's Learn Together. So, welcome to all of you, my dear students. And as you can see over here, the heading that we are going to discuss, the topic that we are going to discuss now is European Parliament in Brussels. That is the headquarter of the European Parliament that they have chosen Brussels. As we have understood, we have got through that what was the reason of choosing Brussels as the European Parliament headquarter. So that was only one reason, because the people in Brussels are living together in a peaceful manner and they give chance to others also. So that is one of the reason, and that is the photograph you can see over here. That is European Parliament in Brussels. Now let us come to our topic. I'm going to show you something more. What is the moral? Means we have gone through the situations of Belgium as well as Sri Lanka. Now, what we have learned from those two particular different type of democratic situations. In both the countries, the formation, the type of government is both democratic. But what really is the difference between them? Let us see. You can see over here, though both Sri Lanka and Belgium are democracies, but they deal with the question of power sharing differently. There were quite a lot of difference between the sharing of power in Belgium as well as Sri Lanka. In Belgium, what we have seen, the leaders have realized that the unity of the country is only possible by respecting the feelings as well as interest of other communities and regions also. And that's why they were having the ratio of 50-50 everywhere. And whether in that particular area of Flemish region, 59% of them were major population of the Dutch speaking people. So even though they have taken in the center 50% ministers will be from the Belgium, from the French speaking people, and 50% will be from the Dutch speaking people. So they are really quite doing something unique which you cannot find in rest of the world. And the other thing, yeah, we also have seen that in the Brussels, that is the Belgium of capital, 80% of the people were French speaking. But even though in the capital, they also have 50-50% ratio of the ministers, or the people who are holding the offices. So we have seen in Belgium that they have realized, the leaders have realized, to maintain the unity, to maintain the strength of the country, to maintain the growth of the country, they have to respect the feelings and interests of other communities also. And what we have seen in Sri Lanka, let me tell you that also. Sri Lanka shows us a contrasting example that was really quite opposite to Belgium. Belgium. In Belgium and in Sri Lanka, we have seen that what they wanted to show, that if a majority community wants to force its dominance over the others, and they can refuse to share power also. We have seen that 78% around, 74% around of them were the majority of the people. And what they have done, they started dominating over the weaker community or the less dominated community over there. So in Sri Lanka, the leaders were thinking differently. They were quite different. But in Belgium, we have seen the thing in the opposite direction. That was really quite different in Sri Lanka. But in Belgium, we have seen the people, they have decided to live happily, and that's why they were sharing the power also equally. Now let us see this particular image, and this image will tell you a lot of things. You can see that there is a car over there, old model car is there, you can see over there. And one more thing that you will have to see, that where is the car right now? The car is lying in the ditch, you can see, and it has stuck. It cannot move over there from that particular place. You can see over there that these are the places where the wheels of the car have been stuck and it is unable to move. And what is written over here? German Parliament. This means that the particular photographs want to show about the German Parliament, that what was the condition of the German Parliament in those days. You can see fine German engineering is showing about the condition of the German parliament over there. Now you can see over here message from that particular cartoon which was showing us about the German parliament. The cartoon refers to the problems of running the Germans' grand coalition government. Means German in Germany in the year 2000 and 2005, actually there were two major parties, है ना? And they were Christian Democratic Union and the Social Democratic Party. They were quite major parties, big parties of Germany. But what really happened in 2005, that neither of the party has got the majority of the seats, so they cannot form their government all alone. Means they were forced to work together to form a coalition government so that they can rule the country by staying together. Means at the condition was that none of them has got the majority of the seats in the 2005 elections, and that's why they were forced to meet together to make a coalition government where both the parties will have their ministers and they will both together rule the country. So that was the condition has been shown in that particular cartoon image, which was showing that German parliament is working under a coalition government. Even these particular two parties are historically rivals to each other. You can see over here, like the BJP and Congress over here in our country. They are actually showing that they are really rivals to each other. So that was one of the condition of the Christian Democratic Union and Social Democratic Party. They were quite opposite to each other. They were rivals to each other. But what the people has made them to do, the people of that particular Germany country have made them to force and combine, work together and combine together and then rule the country. That's why neither of the party got the majority of the seats. Means किसी भी पार्टी को इतना सीट्स नहीं मिला कि वो अकेले ही गवर्नमेंट को बना सकता, फॉर्म कर सकता. That's why they were forced to what, combine together, make a coalition government. And that was shown in that particular cartoon image also. They take divergent positions on several polity matters, but they are still running the government jointly, and they are jointly running the government still after that one also. So that was one of the condition that has been shown with that particular image, cartoon image. For details about the German parliament, if you want to get more details, then you will have to visit this particular website, www.bundestag.de/en. That in English you will get the information about German parliament. So that was the message from the cartoon, my dear students. Now let us move ahead, my dear students. Why power sharing is desirable? That is our next topic. Why power sharing is desirable, my students? So that desirable means what? Why do we need? What is the need of the power sharing? So in our syllabus we'll have to go to two different reasons which will give us the possible reason why power sharing is desirable and why it should be there in a country. Firstly, power sharing is good because it helps to reduce the possibility of conflict between two social groups. Means if there are two or more than two social groups in a country, or two or more than two political parties in a country, major parties, and if the power will be shared between them, then they will in future not fight with each other. That will reduce the possibility of conflict between them, because both the parties will meet together, will make a coalition government like we have seen in the German parliament also. So if the power will be shared, then none of the party would be able to take advantage of the other party, on the other party, or to dominate the other party. So that is the real reason why power sharing is desirable over here, that it will reduce the possibility of conflict between two different social groups. Means both the social groups will have power in their hand, so they will not fight, they will have to run in the same path, and they will have to run the government together. So that's why this is quite necessary over here, power sharing. Let us see a few examples over here. Number one, how power sharing is desirable and how it reduces the possibility of conflict between two social groups. Number one, it ensures the stability of the political order. So we have seen in the chapter that about we have seen in the chapter about Nazism, about Adolf Hitler. What was really happening in the Germany, that in an average of 236 days, the government was falling down and a new government was getting up. So if the power will be shared in the different political positions, then what will happen? There will be a stability of the political order and the government will run for a longer time, because we have seen, because of the social conflict between two different parties, it leads to violence as well as political instability. A number of times the ministers will change, and for 2 months, for after every 3 months, the railway minister will change, and different type of ministers will change because of this. What if the power will not be shared? Because of the conflict of the between the two different parties, or you can say different between conflict between two social groups, then it will not be the stability in the political order. So if the power will be shared among the different political persons, then what will happen? Then it can ensure, and it will surely ensure the stability of political order also. Now let us move ahead to our next. It also strengthens the unity of the nation also. It brings in the unity of the nation as well. Means if imposing the will of the majority community over the others, it looks quite an attractive option in the short run. Means if the majority community, like in you can say in Sri Lanka, the Sinhala speakers were quite in majority. So if they will dominate over the other community which are weaker, which are less in number, then it looks like a very good option. But it is for a long time. Not it is not for a long time. It is just for a short time. In the long run, if you want to run the government, if you want the progress of the country for longer period of time, then what you have to do? You will have to share the power among the majority as well as the minority, and then only power sharing will be useful over there to strengthen the unity of the nation also. Because imposing the will, if you are just imposing your will, your desire, your requirement on the others, by dominating, because you are quite large in number, then it is good for a short time, but it is not for the long time, my dear students. It will just damage and weaken the unity of the nation. So if the power will be shared between two different parties, or the majority as the minority also will get some power, then it will strengthen the unity of the nation, and everyone will be standing in the same nation, and they can do anything for the progress of the nation. So power sharing is also desirable in this condition. And the last one, it's really quite important, my dear. It ensures safeguard to majority also. Means suppose you are not sharing the power, because you are having the majority number of seats in the parliament, so you don't want to share power among different persons, among different levels. You don't want to create legislature group and an executive group, or you don't want to create any judiciary people also. Then what will happen? The all the power will lie in few hands only, and that would be really very bad for those people also who are having the majority of the number of seats, because few people will just deal and will dominate the other group of the majority people also, means their members also will suffer. So tyranny or the dictatorship of the majority is not just oppressive for the minority, it often brings ruin to the majority as well, है ना? ये majority people के लिए भी नुकसानदायक है. It will also be harmful for the majority number of people also, those who are having majority seats, because if they will not share power, then only power will lie in few hands, है ना? In many countries happening also. So those two or three people or five people will just rule the country, and the other people who has got the majority number of seats also will have to work under them, and it will ruin their positions as well. So these are the reasons that we have just discussed. These are also known as prudential reasons, my dear student. Prudential reasons we will carry on in our next slide. So let us go to the next reason of why power sharing is desirable. And the next reason has come under the category of मोरल रीजंस ऑल्सो, ये जो नेक्स्ट रीजन अभी हम लोग जो पढ़ने वाले हैं, डिस्कस करने वाले हैं, इसको मोरल रीजंस भी कहते हैं, यानी मोरल वैल्यूज, वैल्यूज पर ये सारे, ये अभी आपको बताने वाले मोरल वैल्यूज है इसमें। नंबर 2 इज व्हाट, प्रोवाइड्स करेज टू डेमोक्रेसी, डेमोक्रेसी को क्या देता है, हिम्मत देता है। ये सेकंड रीजन है कि पावर को शेयर करना चाहिए, दैट इज द सेकंड रीजन व्हाई पावर शुड बी देयर शेयर्ड, बिकॉज शेयरिंग पावर गिव्स करेज टू democracy. Power sharing is the very spirit, or you can say character of democracy. In democracy, you can see when it means that the government is ruled by the people, the ruler is elected by the people, and they exercise power according to the will of the people who elect them. So in a democratic country, it is really a very good thing that the government is elected by the people. It means that which is ruled by the people, indirectly or directly, you can say that the people are ruling the country in a democratic country, you know, where the power is shared. So whatever the power is exercised in the country, that should be according to the will of the people who have elected them, है ना, जो लोगों ने elect किया है जिन लोगों को, उनके हिसाब से ही rules बनना चाहिए country में, that is the thing. Hence, in a democratic rule, power is shared with those affected by its exercise. यानी पावर उनके साथ शेयर करना चाहिए, और डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्री में यही होता है कि जिसके ऊपर आप पावर को एक्सरसाइज कर रहे हैं, इंप्लीमेंट कर रहे हैं, on whom the rules and regulations are being implemented. So the rules and regulations or the acts should come from those people who are going to have its effect. यानी हम लोगों को इफेक्ट पड़ने वाला है कोई एक्ट से, कोई रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस, कंट्री के कोई रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशन से, तो ये जरूरी है कि हम लोगों से पूछा जाए, हम लोगों से विचार विमर्श किया जाए. That is the next reason why power sharing is desirable. Then in a democratic country, if the power will be shared, then the people on whom the particular act or rules and regulation is going to be implemented, they will be asked, those people will be asked according about that particular law, about the implementation of that particular act, whether it is beneficial. Means the people will be asked before framing any law or before implementing any law, because the people are here, the people are here who are going to be affected with such rules and regulations which are going to be framed in the parliament. So power sharing is providing what, really a courage to the democracy. In a democratic rule, people have a right to be consulted, huh? The people is having the right, you can see, that is quite important, my dear students, that in a democratic rule people are having the right, ये उनका हक है, ये कोई किसी से मांग नहीं रहा है, no one is asking something, they have the right, people have the right to be consulted on how they are to be governed, कि हम लोगों को कैसे चलना चाहिए, हम लोगों को कैसे हमारा रूल्स कैसा होना चाहिए, ये हम लोगों से पूछना चाहिए, ये हम लोगों का हक है कि आप हमसे पूछें. This is the right of the people over in a democratic country, that they should be consulted before framing any particular law or act for the country. A legitimate government is one where citizens, through participation, acquire a chance in the system. This is a type of government where people is having the chance to participate in the government affairs, in the affairs of the government. So it is such a type of government where the citizens are having the chance to participate in the system. Means a local man can become the chief minister or the prime minister. A local man can become the district magistrate of the state, can become the chief commissioner, can become the DGP of police. So these are the things where the people are having in a democratic country, that they are having the chance to participate in the system. If you are really just blaming the system and you are not entering into the system, then my students, you are wrong. You have to be in the system first, then only you can blame the system. Or if you want to progress, or if you want to change the system or have a proper smooth functioning of the system, then my dear students, you will have to be in the system. By remaining outside the system like a local man, by reading the newspaper, you cannot curse the politician, you should not curse the politician, you should not curse the police authority also. So what we have to do to participate in the government system, in the system where the government is running, you will have to learn a lot, you will have to face the competitions, you will have to become a very intelligent one, so that you can be a part of the system and take part, or your decisions will be also asked, and you will be asked also, your concern will be also taken. So you should be in the system, my dear students, if you want to really be a part of the system. Don't blame the system by remaining out. Be inside the system, and then only you can do something for your country. So if you want to do something for your country, then you will have to be in the system. That is my thinking. That is the thing that we should do, my dear students over here. So this the reason that I have just given in front of you, that what I have given you, that people should be consulted. That is the moral. That is the moral reason. People should be consulted before any framing of new laws, rules, or regulations of the country. They must be asked before. And people should get a chance to take participate in the system. They should not be disallowed. They should not be said that you cannot be a part of the system. A legitimate government is such a government we are having over here in India, that everyone can take part in the system by getting inside the system. Hope that you have liked the video, and we will meet again in our next video release of the tutorial. And if you are new to this channel, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to get the information of the next release of the tutorial. Please share it with your friends and others also. Thank you for the time being. Take care. Stay at home. Bye bye. Take care.